Hey there, and welcome to Hot Seat. And we are here to explore the reasons of why. What's the why? What's the purpose? What drives business owners to do what they do? If it's what you're looking for, to get motivated, well, we look forward to sharing this episode with you. I'm your host, Kelvin Holiday, and I am enjoying the fact that we can explore people's why and motivate others. So stay tuned for this exciting new episode. 15 minutes, fast paced. Let's do it. Well, welcome again to another Hot Seat episode. And today I have got somebody very special. When I heard this man's story, it resonated so deep within my heart. So many challenges. And the guy just keeps on getting up, going, and really making a difference in the impact of other people's lives as well. So, Ian, come on down, mate. Come on into the hot seat.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me.
Mate, Ian, as I say to the folks, your story is inspirational. Now, I know it wasn't probably that much for you earlier in your life, but let's get into it. You're a real you're at the heart of things. You're a life coach. You're helping people to get clarity in their mind, and so they can transition so they can transition that into business. All right. So I guess let's start with who's Ian. So where you're located, the family situation. Maybe tell us a little bit of the story of what's got you to this particular place so far.
Absolutely. I'm in Portland, Oregon, which is in the US. I don't have any immediate family around me. I have a longtime girlfriend, and yeah, we're doing really well out here. I've lived in the West Coast of the US most of my life, so generally really nice weather. Yeah, and my journey to get to this point has been, like you said, it's been a little bit of a rocky one, but it has created a lot of opportunity as well.
Cool. So tell us a little bit maybe about your career pathway. So what sort of careers have you done? What sort of I call them jobs, careers, how have you made your bread and butter these days?
Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur, but I've done a lot of different things. At one point, I was a martial arts instructor. I've been a real estate agent. I've been a business consultant. Right now, I'm a life and business coach. I've worn a lot of different hats, and which is, given me a lot of perspective in life.
Yeah. And that's one of the really unique parts I found about you. It's like when a lot of people are looking for a business coach, and they think that that's the thing that's going to help them out, but quite often they've got some deep-seated sort of challenges in life that are personal, and they don't necessarily want to share that sort of stuff with a business coach. They go off and find somebody else. But you've got that unique transition. So do you mind telling us, like, yeah, we've alluded a bit to some of the challenges you've had. Do you want to actually tell us, how has that impacted you? So what are some of the things that's happened? How has that impacted you? And more importantly, what is it that's kept you going? Like you keep on getting up, after some fairly significant situations.
Absolutely. So, like I said, I was a martial arts instructor and I got hurt really badly. And so I ended up with what is effectively a groin tear. And it took about 10 years to have that properly identified and treated. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I grew up in a rough sort of way where going to the doctor wasn't very common. So after my initial injury, it took me a little while to pursue that. And then what happened is I developed a really bad piece of scar tissue that put pressure on all kinds of nerve groups. So it ended up showing a lot of different things, making diagnosis hard. So the
Yeah.
first 10 years, just to identify and treat that. And then it took a whole other 10 years to fix a bunch of problems that developed in that first 10 years. So I had a bit of a 20-year sort of battle of sort of getting better. If I spent about a year not doing very much, my body would calm down. I would start another business, start another job, and then it would get inflamed again, and I would be back on my back again. So I went through a bit of a cycle of getting up, falling down, starting something new, failing again, needing to wait, and just repeating this process over and over.
Wow. What was it? Yeah, like like, that's the thing. Most people after if they do it once or twice, they go, "Ah, enough's enough. I'm giving up." But you keep on getting up. What would I would say your superpower? What is that thing that's driving you? How have you just kept on going? Okay, and this is another year of on my back. and I'm going to get up again and go again. So what's caused that?
I'm not gonna lie, there were some days where I really felt like I might not be able to get back up, but
Mm,
ultimately I felt like there was an answer out there. I didn't know what that was, and a lot of the people I talked to didn't know what it was, but somebody in the world had to have an answer. There had to be an opportunity. And so getting back up and pursuing it, and I had so many different things wrong. It turned out there were a lot of different answers. And so each time I thought, well, this is the ultimate one. And while it wasn't, it still gave me hope to say, okay, I fixed this thing. What's the next thing? How am I going to get there? Who can I talk to? Where in the world is that answer so that I can get back up and keep going and live a more full life?
yeah. From what I'm hearing, mate, it's that power of positive thought. Like, you had this. I wear this on my chest on a daily basis. I think about it. A lot of people know my journey. It takes strength, courage, and determination sometimes just to get up. And to keep on fighting forward and moving forward without just giving up. And it's exactly what you've done. And mate, tip my hat to you because I've heard a little bit more of your story than you're sharing today. And wow, like it is a challenge. But I think it's something we can compare into business world. So you're saying that about your physical sense, obviously would have affected you mentally as well, I would imagine. Is that right?
Oh, it absolutely did, mentally, emotionally. And so within that, and kind of like a business, there's so many layers to what you need to do that if you just focus on one thing, that'll carry you very far. But then there's other areas that are deficient. So you need to focus on those and just keep building them up piece by piece, almost like a pyramid, if you will. You got to keep bringing the layers in because if you just built one side, it's probably going to collapse. And so
Yeah.
just having that strength and this sort of unrelenting attitude of, it might get me down today, but tomorrow's another day and let me keep at it.
Yeah. I call it the one percenters. What's 1% I can prove something somewhere today? All right. And then tomorrow, what's the 1% I can improve tomorrow? And pretty much over 100, consecutive days, but we don't always go ahead 1% a day. Sometimes we go ahead 3% and then we go backwards to the next day. And it is that juggling, that seesaw of emotion, of mental stress, and those sorts of things. So I guess I know from my perspective and my journey that also had some challenges on relationships where and you said you got a long time girlfriend, which is awesome, who's been able to support you through this. But how has it affected you, not just emotionally, but relationally with those people around you in life?
There were times where I was in so much pain and I was hurting and I would lash out at people and I lost friendships over it. I lost relationships. Fortunately, as time has gone on, I've gotten a lot better at both managing my emotions, but also getting better at relations with people. Where I could, I've gone and made amends. Where I haven't been able to, I've helped other people make amends in their relationships. And moving forward, I really work to cultivate much stronger relationships and also when somebody else has a bad day, because I've had those bad days, I'm a lot more understanding of it, give them the space and support that they need as well.
Yeah. Look, I think I mentioned this to you in our last conversation. There's a great book out there for people who are really going through these struggles. Sometimes you get that position where you've had the experience and you become what I call the wounded healer. And there's a book called The Wounded Healer from Cloud and Townsend. Great book. And it talks about the fact that sometimes when we go through a battle ourselves, we can woe is me, and then that's it. And our experience becomes our experience, and it can either take us out or we can move forward. But what you have done is taking your the challenge that you've been facing, you've taken that and you've taken that bull by the horns, and then you have actually gone, okay, I might not be getting better today, but if I can help somebody else, that is a good thing. Is that
The
the right sort of attitude?
Yeah, the way I've put it many times is I transmute my lead into their gold. If I can take the pain that I've endured and shorten somebody else's time to recovery or improvement, then it makes a piece of what I went through worth it because then I can help so many more people through it.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things we underestimate about our human bodies is those endorphins, those happy feelings. And when we do something for somebody else, when we actually help somebody else, the result of that, if you've been able to share your hard experience with somebody else and they've actually now improved their life, that gives you the endorphins start going off, and you now start to feel better because of that. And it's a real cool little trick, really. And sometimes it's just get over yourself, get over yourself, help somebody else, and that will make a difference.
100%. And there's actually been days where I was in a lot of pain, and while I was helping somebody, it's almost like the pain went away. And that wasn't the reason for doing it, but it was really interesting to see how I could step outside of myself during that time period. Sometimes I'd step right back in, but also because I helped them, it allowed me to take some lessons from them and say, it's not as bad. I can work through this. They can work through it. It might not be as serious, but it's also not a competition. So how can I integrate that into myself and continue to feel better and then help more people on top of that?
You just had, for me, in this interview, you just actually said the little nugget that I know that I'm going to take away, and that is it's not a competition. Just because you've had an experience, I have an experience, it's not about who's had the worst experience. How do you measure a worse experience? It's just an experience, and it is no competition. And that, unfortunately, in business, a lot of people are competitive, and therefore they want to have the biggest story so they can actually, leverage that. It's the wrong reason, and I think, mate, loving this. I want to wrap it up now. Like this is something I know that we can go so much deeper, and I want to invite you back at some time in the future to a Tool Time episode where we can peel back some of the layers and start to get in and add some real value and start to help other people to go, what is it that's going on in your life? How do you get your clarity? Where is it that the blockage may be in your life? So I want to invite you back. If you want to come back and do a Tool Time with us, that'll be awesome.
I'd be delighted to. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that would be great. But I'm gonna wrap up, and I'm gonna ask you one little question, mate. I always finish off our hot seat things with the hot seat hot tip. What is that one thing that you might be able to offer the listeners today that when they're having a challenge, what is just one way that you can, one tip you give them to get up and move forward?
For me, I always start with clarity. The more clear you can be on the goal that you want to be, the problem that you're facing, whatever that is. And one of the best ways to achieve clarity is through questions. We don't always have the answer, but sometimes just by asking different questions, we start to think about it differently. We see a different path forward. So when we feel stuck, starting to look at different questions, different ways to think about it can create an entirely new pathway to approach things. And that little bit of perspective shift can open entire doors.
Yeah. Wow. It seems simple, but such power in that. Rather than just like asking the same question and hitting the same blockage, ask a different question and the door's open. Ian, this has been inspiring, mate, and I've really appreciated this time. Very short, very fast, folks, but this has been one of those episodes that I know that people are going to go back to. There is lots of layers. And as Ian said, you've got to peel back the layers to get the clarity in your life. And there's a lot of layers into this particular time that Ian and I have had together here at the hot seat. So Ian, it has been an absolute pleasure, my friend. And I'm really looking forward to having you back and doing a Tool Time and really exploring some clarity things.
Thank you so much. I'm greatly looking forward to it as well.
Cool. Okay, folks, that is another wrap on a hot seat this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have. Ian is an inspirational man, and we will see him again soon. Until next time, bye for now. Thanks for joining us here at Hot Seat. It's been an amazing, amazing event. It is a place where you can actually enjoy and be inspired by the why of others, the drive of the purpose and the passion. Please like and share this podcast with as many people as you can to inspire them to make a difference in this world. Have an awesome day. Unleash.